Once the assassination starts, Chen arrives disguised as a masked warrior, kills all the assassins, and saves General Zheng. The movie begins in France in 1917, where the Chinese government dispatched 150,000 laborers instead of soldiers to Europe to fight alongside the Allied forces. Chen Zhen leads his men to survive on the battlefield. He's fighting hand in hand with their enemies and manages to kill them all. At the war's end, though China was one of the victorious, it was ignored by the other allies, and Japan occupied Qingdao and Shandong. In 1925, Shanghai got divided into settlements, and Japan was increasing its influence in preparation for the invasion of China. Master Liu Yutian, a Shanghai tycoon, arrived at his nightclub frequented by foreign dignitaries and got welcomed by the people around there. Despite the ongoing war, his business is booming, and according to him, the more trouble there is, the more money they will make. Later, while a woman is performing, the Japanese request a song. Eventually, the pianist, Chen Zhen, who returned as Qi Tianyuan, turns it to Old Lang Syne, which causes the Japanese to get mad. Master Liu comes to him and asks if he's the one who came from France and asks to have a drink with him. Later, they play cards, and Master Liu gets close to him. Later that night, they arrive at a hotel where Kiki, the performer, waits for Liu. Before they parted ways, he thanked Liu for the night. After that, he tells his comrades he's now Liu's business partner. However, this causes the others to worry because he's becoming high profile and taking more risks. The other member says that getting Liu on their side is good, as they need to motivate every Chinese to fight against the Japanese. Chen says penetrating the triad and the municipal police will benefit their movement. Meanwhile, Colonel Takeshi Chikiryoshi of the Japanese Army General Staff Office in Hongkou Dojo learns that the Brits got a hold of their dispatch schedule. So he confronts 3 of his members who did it, which eventually leads to him killing them all. Then, he tells the rest of his soldiers that every Japanese soldier should be ready to die. The following day, Chen learns that the Japanese plan to assassinate General Zheng, the son of a northern warlord, and push the blame on General Zhou, a rival warlord. Moments later, the 2 generals arrive with their girls to converse over hot pot. So Chen leaves Casablanca and stands near where the 2 generals are having dinner. Once the generals finished eating, General Zhou and his wife went first, and they got swarmed outside. Then, General Zheng followed up with her girlfriend and also got overrun. Once the assassination starts, Chen arrives disguised as a masked warrior, kills all the assassins, and saves General Zheng. Chen drives their car off, and General Zheng asks him why he saved his life, and he says that it wasn't his objective and tells him to tell his father to stop colluding with the Japanese, and he leaves. In the Japanese headquarters, one of the soldiers says they support Commander Zheng and shouldn't have tried to kill his son. But he says that Zheng's death would spark a civil war between the 2 warlords and aid the subsequent Japanese invasion. Chikiryoshi's men admit blame for the failed operation, but he says that assassinations always come with that. Instead, he orders to know who the superhero is. On the other hand, the resistance and Chen talk about the masked warrior, an icon of resistance to the Japanese. They tell him to keep that for a while and that a different identity for him is good. They also told him they would run a report about the masked warrior accordingly. The following day, the masked warrior is all over the newspaper. The news reaches Chikiryoshi, so he holds a meeting with his men and his spies in Casablanca. When he asks if there's anything suspicious in Casablanca, a woman stands and says that Liu has a new partner who looks suspicious. She says that Qi Tianyuan returned from France, and he used to be a laborer in the war in Europe. She claims that he hit off with Liu immediately and became a nightclub partner. Then, Chikiryoshi asks Kiki, and she says that her mission is to get close to Henry the Brit. But because there are too many people in Casablanca, she doesn't notice him. With that, she promises to look out for Tianyuan instead. That night, in Casablanca, Kiki goes to Liu to ask permission to go out with Chen. They then ride a motorcycle to Chen's friends, who are having a drink when they arrive. They introduce themselves to her, and she introduces herself as Chen's girlfriend. She also meets Tianyuan's sister, whom she introduces as her sister, for he's pretending to be Tianyuan. Kiki asks about Chen Zhen and the rumors that the Japanese shot him, and he says that the Japanese didn't kill Chen Zhen. He fought with them for 3 years in Europe and is their brother. After a few drinks, they go home, and Kiki accidentally drops her purse with a small gun. When she's about to leave, she points the gun at Chen and asks him who he is. Then, they laugh together, claiming she's drunk. She says that Liu gave it to her for protection and shows him an old photograph she took from their place, which he tells her to keep. Later, she tells him that her real name is Fang Qing and leaves. On the other side, Tokyo sends a list of anti-Japanese activists to Chikarishi, ordering him to kill the people on the list. Then, he leaks out the list. In the meantime, the resistance also has the list, and they decide not to publish it as it will only help the Japanese create a panic in Shanghai. However, the following day, the list is already in the newspaper. Knowing that he's one of the people listed, Lu calls the police. He asks them what precautions they're taking because he's concerned that his customers might run off. But Inspector Huang can't tell them any plans that the police are taking, except for their monitoring the situation, which causes Lu to get mad. During their conversation, the Japanese arrive at the Casablanca. The Japanese are starting to cause trouble as no girls want to sit at their tables, so Chen comes to them. Chen introduces himself to them, but Chikarishi tells him he's well informed about him and hands him an old photograph. He says that the man in that photo is also Qi Tianyuan and needs to decide who the imposter is. He asks him if he knows who the masked warrior is, and he talks about the film. Because of that, Chikarishi tells him that now that the death list has come out, he wonders if the masked warrior will interfere. He acts as if he's thinking and then says that he will. Chikarishi then tells him to put on a wager and bet if many people die or the masked warrior will save more. Then, he flips a silver coin and hands it to Chen. Lu enters their conversation, and Chikarishi asks why he let him be his partner while turning them down. Lu says that his business needs to be more significant for the Japanese and tells them to open a bigger one. Suddenly, the media arrive. Chikarishi grabs Lu and says that being in Casablanca is enough proof that the Japanese and Chinese are good friends. However, when he leaves, he tells Lu that he'll return when he has time, but Lu says otherwise. Suddenly, Chen calls Chikarishi and hands him one of the rings he got from the assassins during the attack on Zheng. The next day, Chen and Chikarishi engage in a race of time to save and assassinate the activists, respectively. Some got killed, while others managed to escape from Shanghai. Because Chikarishi is outrunning Chen orders one of the resistance, Dagong, to tell the Chinese laborers to get ready to support the student movement. Sometime later, Chen goes to Casablanca and spends time with Kiki alone. Kiki asks him if he has considered leaving Shanghai and offers to leave with her, but he tells her that if everything dies, he'll take her away. Eventually, Chikarishi's younger brother, Sasaki, leads a team of assassins to murder the editor of the Shanghai Times. Chen kills Sasaki but fails to save the editor in time. In the meantime, Chen is back in Casablanca and playing the piano, saying that it's the song his comrade who died in Europe fighting for their country taught him. Unbeknownst to them, Lu is watching them from afar. On the other hand, the Chinese laborers gather to unite and rescue China. Later, while Chen is thinking, he realizes the two girls are spies in Casablanca, and one of them is Kiki. So he meets with Kiki and asks her what she does there, to which she claims to be a hostess. He tells her he hopes she doesn't work with the Japanese and never returns, or he'll kill her. Meanwhile, Chikarishi starts distrusting Kiki and forces her to kill General Zheng's girlfriend, Vivian, one of her close friends. He says that since Zhou opposes Zheng's cooperation with them, they will plant the murder as if he did it so that Zheng would kill him. One night, the Japanese ambush Chen on the street, knock him unconscious, and bring him to their headquarters to torture him. Concurrently, Huang and their friends arrive at the base and stage a raid. While that is going on, the Japanese continue their torture of Chen. Chikarishi comes with Kiki and the other spy moments later. He tells Chen that he's too careless. He killed Tsuyoshi Chikarishi, the Honko Dojo, who was Chikarishi's father. He murmurs that the Chinese aren't sick men of East Asia. Then, a Japanese soldier reports to Chikarishi about the trouble in their headquarters. He then orders his men to let go of Chen, and he'll take him to dojo to avenge his father's death. On the other hand, Chen's friends cause severe damage with explosives before fleeing the scene. Later, Chikarishi arrives at their headquarters to see the disaster. He pulls out the old photo of Chen and his friends, saying it's game over. On the other hand, they drop Chen near Casablanca, where the people immediately help him. The following day, the Japanese track down Chen's comrades and murder them and hang their bodies in revenge, but they spare Tianyuan's sister. However, Chen is still unconscious and recovering with the help of Lu. Huang, together with Tianyuan's sister, visits him and asks him to wake up as they can't do it without him. Alternatively, the student protesters start moving again. Huang stops them as they're about to get to the Japanese turf and won't be able to help them once they cross. But they tell him that they don't need help from a cop. Besides, he works for foreigners and doesn't represent the Chinese. A commotion starts when they force them to go, and the students end up in jail. The British boss of Huang scolds him for not doing anything about the students' armed insurrection and claims they must be convicted. Otherwise, he needs to figure out what to tell the Japanese. However, Huang tells him they're in the British settlement, and he doesn't have to. When the Brit tells him to buzz off, he tells him it's China and starts standing up for his country. Later, Chen wakes up, and Huang tells him how the Japanese hang their friends. He immediately hugs Zishan, Tinyuan's sister, who breaks down crying. After that, Lu comes to him to tell him that the Japanese and Zheng killed Zhou and his wife. He tells him they have already lost, and the two can't save the world. In Casablanca, Kiki and two other Japanese arrive wearing the Japanese army uniform. Lu tells her that he got worried because he didn't come to work for long, and she says that she's Captain Yamaguchi of the Japanese army, which surprises Chen. She says she came there on behalf of the Japanese army and hopes he can help them find someone. She says they're looking for Chen Zhen, but Lu says Chen is already dead, and they arrest his accomplice, Dogong. When Lu asks what the consequence is if he can't deliver him, she tells him that they have expanded their settlement area and are ready to bring in the troops. So if he doesn't give him, they will have an excuse for an attack. Kiki tells him he's running out of bargaining chips, so he orders his men to kill the two Japanese escorts and tells her he still has one. Later, Chen goes to the Jingwu Athletic Association, where his old uniform is. He wears it and gets his amulet to prepare to fight Chikiryoshi. At the same time, the opposing party is also preparing for their fight. After that, Kiki escorts Chen, and the Chinese people chant his name. When they arrive at dojo, Chikiryoshi tells him he's been waiting for him. Chen talks about how nothing has changed in the dojo, and Chikiryoshi tells him there's no need to change because the Japanese are born strong. He boastfully says that if that is so, the outcome will be the same, Chikiryoshi will lose. The Japanese show him the dead body of Dogong, and Kiki runs to Chikiryoshi, telling him that he promised her to spare his life if she gets Chen. However, he also kills her, saying he'll kill everyone who opposes them. One of the Japanese soldiers tells him that, like Kiki and Zishan, women are only toys for men, causing him to be furious and attack him. After he kills him, the rest of the Japanese attack him all at once. When he kills them, he goes to Kiki and then faces Chikiryoshi. He gets knocked out at first, and during that, he reminisces about the fight for his country, then stands up and removes his top. He fights Chikiryoshi stronger and manages to kill him, thinking about all his dead friends. He then watches him there and tosses the silver coin he used as a wager with the death list. The movie ends with Chikiryoshi getting replaced by another officer. Chen puts on his superhero costume to continue assisting the resistance movement in its fight against the invaders. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this to help the channel out. Have a nice day.